Blog Talk Radio.
What's happening, everybody? This is Todd Cheek coming at you, and specifically Todd's Health Zone, and I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. This is our first show for the new year, so once again, Happy New Year to everyone, and I hope that 2014 has a healthy and prosperous year for you. Of course, what we do on our show, everyone, is we invite a health and wellness and fitness professional onto the show to talk about what they do and how the profession is actually helping society or helping people live healthier lives. Now, these are people that are out in the trenches doing their thing on an everyday basis. And, of course, me, myself, I'm a personal trainer, and one of the things that I concentrate on for the most part is weight loss, and that's one of my specialties. And, of course, at the top of the year, everyone is always talking about the New Year's resolution, and, of course, getting healthy is always going to be at the top of the list. And at the top of that list probably is weight loss. A lot of people do want to lose weight. But a lot of times as I look at people's situation, the weight that they gain over the years, a lot of times it isn't because of a lot of the food that it's because of the food that they're eating, but there's a deeper problem that people are living or having to deal with, such as stress, such as all types of things that are going on in their lives. So that's what we want to talk a little bit about today. Not so much as weight loss, but how to live your ultimate life so that you can live free, and so that you can maybe unblock some of those challenges that are either causing pain in your life, either physically, emotionally, or physically. So we're going to be bringing on a very, very special and very talented young lady on this afternoon, Dr. Sweta Chawla. She is going to enlighten us how to live your ultimate life, okay? And what we're going to do right quick is going to cut to a small commercial, so we'll be right back in maybe a minute, okay? So we'll catch you up in just a second.
Isotonics, the world's most advanced nutraceutical taken orally. The Isotonics line of nutritional supplements offers a quick and easy solution to promote your health. Isotonics refers to the form by which the supplement is delivered into your body. Isotonic means having the same fluid pressure as body fluids. This all-natural delivery method reduces the time it takes for your body to absorb the nutrients. Normally, when you ingest a daily vitamin or nutritional supplement tablet, your body must work up to 4 hours digesting and absorbing the vitamins and nutrients. During this lengthy breakdown process, a percentage of the nutritive value is lost. But because Isotonics products are powders, the fillers, binders, coatings, and lubricants that are common to tablet manufacturing are not necessary. And the inactive natural ingredients and flavoring also make the product taste great. Faster and more efficient absorption into the bloodstream increases the value of taking nutritional supplements. Always follow the directions on the label when taking any nutritional supplement. Isotonics products become isotonic when mixed with the appropriate amount of water. Simply mix the product, stir, and drink. It's that easy. Isotonics.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. And once again, I want to say Happy New Year to you, and welcome to the show, Todd's Health Zone here. As always, you can always find all of my archives at my website, toddshealthzone.com, and listen to all of our shows that we've been doing in the past, so definitely visit that site. Now, like I said, we have on this afternoon a very special young lady, someone who is going to help you and can help you live your ultimate life. Now, she has experience and compassion and ability to connect with others on a deep level to understand what they need to start to live in integrity. Now, she's a doctor of pharmacy, a diabetes educator, and professor with over 12 years of experience creating wellness programs, and she's able to integrate her skills to bring this uplifting work into the lives of others who are not living their best. She truly believes that we don't find our own voices, and we may not even know it, but often our bodies are likely paying the price with disease. So, doctor, are you out there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Todd. Hi, everybody. Happy New Year's.
Yes. Happy New Year to you. And I want to thank you for giving us some of your time this afternoon to talk about, what it means to live, or how we can live a better life, if not even your ultimate life. So once again, I definitely want to thank you for being a guest on the show this afternoon.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here, and I love this topic, so it's fun for me.
Yes. So now, doctor, what you could do for us, because I gave everyone a little bit of a snapshot of who you are, but as I always say, no one can tell your story better than the individual. So I was when I first met you, I was very impressed with your story. So definitely tell us about your story, and what brought you to this point here.
My pleasure. Well, my story basically begins, I had a very good life. I had, as you mentioned, I worked as a professor for 10 years at a university, beautiful home in New York City, a lovely marriage. And in 2011, I got pregnant. And it was around my 34 weeks of my pregnancy that I went for a regular checkup. And I was told by the doctor that I had no amniotic fluid in my belly, and that my baby needed to come out right now. I mean, needless to say, that was a day that changed the rest of my life. I mean, we literally ran to the hospital, and I had an emergency C-section, and my son was born at 2 pounds 9 ounces at 34 weeks. They said they've never seen a baby deteriorate that fast and that small at that, he's pretty, developed at that point, 34 weeks.
Wow.
And it was heartbreaking for me because, you would think that I would be really happy, like he survived and he made it. But I was actually heartbroken because I had very high expectations for motherhood. And I like I said, I always had a good life, but they always felt like there was something kind of missing. And I thought that motherhood would fill it. And I literally thought that, he would come out and we would look at each other and it was like, the clouds would part and the angels would come out and I would feel like instant love that everyone talks about when they're a mother. And it was a total opposite for me. The first year of his life was so hard. I couldn't connect to him. He was a colicky baby. I was still I was basically having a little bit of post-trauma after, the experience of the birth. And it took me about a year to really understand the lesson in that experience. Because, you hear people say all the time that everything happens for a reason, but very few people actually look for the reason. And I was blessed to be able to find that reason. And essentially, I woke up one day and realized that I wanted more for my life. It was just this kind of just waking up. And it sent me on this journey of self-discovery where I actually started to realize for myself that my biggest source of suffering, that something missing feeling, was not expressing my true self. And what I mean by that is, I'm a pretty, I'm a, I don't want to say loud person, but I'm a talkative person. I'm not a shy person by any means. I was a professor. So you wouldn't really take me as somebody that, couldn't express herself. So I was very expressive, but I wasn't expressing what I really wanted because I didn't know what I really wanted in life. And it was just the biggest turning point. It was the biggest blessing in my life. And what I came to realize was that by not living the life I wanted to live and not doing the things that I really wanted to do, that I was not nourishing myself. I was not nourishing my soul. I was not nourishing my heart. And I cut off nourishment to my son. And I really, really believe that's why he lost so much weight so fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's an amazing story, and I don't know how many women can relate to your experience, but I'm sure, if not your specific, experience, there are a lot of women that can relate to just as an intimidating experience and probably a life-changing experience as it was for you. Yeah. And one of the things I'm going to have to write, I wrote it down actually. Very few people look for the reason. That is so powerful and so true. So I'm going to have to take that one from you.
No problem. You can have it.
No, so I thank you for your story. And like I said, I was really amazed at your story when I first met you, and applause to you in your journey and your being able to turn things around. Now, what you also, what you do is something very different than what I've ever heard. I've never heard of it before, and I can probably say that most people never heard of what a self-expression expert is. And I'll say that again, self-expression expert. So if you could definitely tell us what a self-expression expert is.
Absolutely. So as I mentioned, that realization of my story was a turning point in my life, and it took me on this discovery, this journey of where I realized that the biggest source of my discomfort was my career, and I did a lot of self-work on myself. I got a coach, and I joined different programs, and I started to kind of chisel at all of the reasons of the things that happened in my life, and there was so much gold in a lot of those lessons, and I saw a pattern, and the biggest pattern that I saw was that even though I was very ambitious and I was very successful, and on paper, I had it all on paper, the pattern that I saw was that lack of really voicing what it is that I wanted. And when I started to do it, and I started small, and just, for example, somebody asks you to hang out, and you don't really want to hang out, but, you feel guilty by saying no, so you just do it anyways. Like a family member asks you to do something for them, maybe pick up their kid or babysit or, whatever, run an errand for them, and, you truly don't want to do it, but you just feel obligated. And right. It started to become aware of all of those little decisions that I was making on a daily basis. And, everything from what I just gave you an example to even what I was putting in my body, to bigger decisions like my career. And I noticed that when I started to actually say what I wanted, I started to become more aware of what I really wanted, and my life turned around. My life turned around. In 6 months. In 6 months, I lost 20 pounds effortlessly. And you talk about weight loss. I yo-yo dieted for decades. And it was always through restriction, it was always through exercising really hard. And I have to tell you, it's never been so effortless for me before, where I'm literally eating whatever I really want, and I'm really doing exercise that I enjoy. I don't do hardcore exercise. I used to run 3 miles. Now I just do yoga and dance and bike ride. And what I really came to realize was that as I raised the standards in my life started to raise. And I found that this is something that a lot of people go through, where they don't express themselves, and they don't realize how much they're suffering because of it. That by not expressing yourself, it causes anxiety, it causes stress, it causes discomfort, it causes weight gain. I have a doctorate in pharmacy, and I can tell you from biology perspective, even I'm sure you've had other people on your show talk about cortisol, but it's this chemical that releases when you're stressed, and that holds on to fat. And the biggest realization that I also made, just as a little extra tidbit of information, was that no matter how healthy you eat, if you have that cortisol in you, your body won't actually absorb the nutrients. And that was such an eye-opener for me, because what I ultimately realized was that when you do what you want, you get skinnier, you get richer, and you get more happy. That's what it really comes down to. And I really felt that there was a need to really help other people get to what it is they really want, because everyone has a different story. And, you know, I'm sure there's people on this call that can relate to my story, but there's also probably some things they can't relate to. But they're ultimately, if you're not expressing yourself, whether it's at home, whether it's in your career, whether it's just in how you spend your time, then you're probably suffering in some way.
Wow. That is really, really powerful, and it just goes to show that, and it is so true, because we do keep a lot of things in, and that thus causes a lot of internal issues. Right. Whether it's, like you said, the cortisol levels being raised, and you're trying to lose weight, but you're fighting, you're trying to deal with an outer situation without helping what's going on inside. And now, what this is all leading to, and which is another thing that caught my attention, is because you are also, I think, part of your company is Make Your World Bigger.
Yeah.
Okay, and that is really something that a lot of people run away from, because big is sometimes big is a scary thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure you can definitely tell us more about what Make Your World Bigger is.
Yes, absolutely. Big it can be overwhelming and intimidating, and it's one of the reasons why I feel people don't live their ultimate life and don't live to the highest potential. And, you know, there's this thought out there that, most people are afraid of failure. But what I've been seeing, the more I work with people, is that more people are afraid of success. And I mean true success. So when I say success, I don't mean a six-figure job. I had a six-figure job, and it did not make me feel happy. The thing about success is really having a life where you spend your time doing what you want, where you feel like you're passionate about how, who you're with, what you're contributing to the world. You are living where you want to live. You're living, like now, I didn't finish the story about it, but in 6 months, not only did I lose the weight, but I started my own business. I slowly left the pharmacy world. I climbed to the top of a mountain carrying my son when 6 years earlier I couldn't even get halfway up. And I cured 20 years of debilitating neck pain that I had. Wow. Through awareness and realization. I meditate every single day now. I have such clarity and awareness and intuition in my heart, and I'm bold. I'm playing a lot bigger in my life, because what I realized was that I started to do the work. I started to kind of, you talk about painful emotions. It's a lot of the pain that we have actually comes from childhood. And I used to think that it was like, you hear all the time about people that go to, like, the therapist and, they have to deal with their inner child and blah, blah, blah. And I thought that only, like, that's only crazy people. Like, I'm not like that. I don't have low self-esteem. I don't have low self-worth. And what I've come to realize is that Dr. Robin, who's been on Oprah, came on Oprah for so many years, said that the reason for adulthood is to actually deal with what you went through in childhood. Is to unravel that and to learn the lessons from it and to create from that. And I have found that to be so incredibly true. I started to unravel myself, and what I gained was I figured out why I chose my mom as a mother. Why did I choose my dad as a father? Why did I choose the life that I chose? Because that's what I really believe. I believe you come into the world choosing the people that you're going to interact with. And I wouldn't admit it. It was very hard for me to admit it when I first started this journey, but I actually had resentment towards my mother. And I felt guilty admitting it because she had passed away. And I loved her. And in my mind, I thought that if you admit that you have resentment towards a parent, it means you don't love them. And that's farthest from the truth. You can love somebody, but there could be painful experiences that you've had with them that have left a scar, and it's left a thorn in you. And if you don't take the thorn out, you don't really get to experience life. Michael Singer wrote a book called The Untethered Soul, where he talks about, think about it this way, if you have a bunch of thorns on you, you can't really walk freely. You have to be careful about what you bump into. You can't let anybody get too close because it's going to hurt. you constantly have to be very careful and very calculative of where you're going and what you're doing. But if you take that thorn out, it hurts like hell. It hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But it's out and it heals. And then you get to walk around and do and say and be with whoever you want, and you really get to let people get close to you. And that's what I have experienced in my own life and have experienced in other people's lives, is that when you take the thorns out, you get to live bigger, and it doesn't become scary. It actually becomes exciting. I mean, I realized when I chose my mom was the resentment that I actually had towards her was that she lived small. She lived a small life, and because she lived a small life, she suffered, and I grew up around the suffering, and that's what I was resentful for. She had emotional issues. She had lots of disease, and I resented her for not, kind of being a better example to me. But this journey took me back to her story. I actually went to India, and I learned her story. And all that resentment turned into compassion. And it gave me my purpose. It gave me my life purpose, which is to make people's worlds bigger. Because what I realized was I was resentful for her living small. But what my son taught me was that I was living small. And because of it, he almost lost his life by not doing what I wanted to do in life. That was the outcome of it. And so I just really, really believe that when you play small, it means you're settling. And when you settle, it's probably you're not expressing yourself. And when you don't express yourself, you suffer. So that's what I mean by make your world bigger. That's what I mean by play bigger. I also love to travel, so I do retreats around the world. I just came back from Peru. I've been to over 35 countries. So I do different workshops and different retreats, and I have VIP mentoring clients, and I do this work around the world.
Your story to me, like I said, is so fascinating, and it sends chills through my body. I will say that, because all of us can relate to, I think most of us anyway, can relate to a desire to want to live, once again, ultimate life. Now, the word bigger, okay, we can play around with that, but we all want to, I think we're all seeking to be happy and fulfilled in life.
Yes.
And what you just presented and communicated to us is at the foundation and of what you went through. And like I said, I know there's so many people that can relate to you. And doctor, this show is never long enough. I will say that.
I know.
Because you have so much information, and I'll let everybody know. This stuff. What she's offering us, these jewels here. We haven't even. I have like some things that I want to ask her, and I know we're not going to get through everything. So what I want to do right quick, Doc, is I want to actually ask you some of the information about some of your packages in your business, because you have what's called a Clarity Companion package, and you have a Radical Release, which really is really cool. The Who, What Do You Know package. So definitely give us a breakdown on some of your packages right quick.
Absolutely. You can find all of this information on my website, www.drswetha.com. But essentially, I like to provide a variety of ways to make your world bigger. And I deliver my information in different ways as well. So if you go on my homepage, you'll see special offerings, and you can actually click on it, and you'll see some special ways that I like to get the information across to you. So I'm doing like a teleseminar. I'm doing a live event in New York City next week. And then I have my private coaching packages, which is what you're referring to. And those three titles, I basically just took a look at where do I feel like people are mainly blocked, and what do they really struggle with. And I think people are in different phases. So the Clarity Companion is for somebody who knows what they want, but they they don't know how to actually literally express it. It's I describe it as you know the words to a song in your head, but when you try to sing it, it doesn't come out. So I help you get the words to articulate what it is you're feeling in your heart. Some people call me a copywriter for the soul, or a why linguist. And the radical release, we talked about the thorns, and I talked about like taking them out. It's painful, but then when it heals, you have this freedom that you never had before. And the radical release is to help you to do that. And I do VIP packages where you actually would get like a full day like coaching experience, and this is what I just did in Peru, where I took a client out there. I take you out of your environment, take you into a high vibrating place, and we just really sit down and focus on the biggest block you have in your life that needs to get released. Because once that gets shifted, it's moved out. These things that start to come into your life are just so amazing. I can tell you so many stories with clients who dealt with the death of their father, and the week after, met, a guy that she's practically living with when she was not dating for such a long time. I mean, it's amazing to see those shifts. And then I complement that with having a healer also do the work. I mean, we don't have, it's probably beyond this conversation, but there's a lot of subconscious things that are going on. So the healer can actually help you deal with some of those blocks where you don't have to literally go so deep into it from a talking perspective. And you get an organic, yummy lunch with that as well. And then the last package is who do you know, who do you want to know? I'm a connector. I just know a lot of people, and I'm very intuitive. And so if I can't help you, or if I know who can help you. And, that also includes the traveling part. I'm a big believer of experiences. I literally think making your world bigger, like getting out and traveling in itself will change your life. And I've been, like I said, over 35 countries. So I just feel like I can offer you, whatever experience you're looking for, I can tell you where you can get it, whether it's with a person or with a place or both. So that's what that package is. And, again, I have some special offers with special discounts going on, especially for your listeners. I'm doing buy one, get one free for my live event next week. For my teleseminar, I'm doing $10 off. And then for my VIP package and the mentoring packages, I'm doing 20% off. So please go on my website, and I'd be happy to take this journey with you and support you in any which way I can.
Great. Thank you so much. Now, I know that's a little bit about what my next question, because I do want to ask you, what's in the future for you and make your world bigger and things like that.
Thank you for asking that. Well, what's in my future is that I'm making my world bigger. What I kind of find is that when you have this message, you have to constantly step it up yourself. And no matter how big you get, it's a journey. Life is a journey. There's never an arrival point, and really accepting that and knowing that, and just really challenging yourself. So my dream, like I said, is to hold really big international retreats around the world. I call them travel with a purpose, to better yourself inside and out. So basically, it's a vacation where you bring your family. We would have a wellness retreat that would include a lot of this work that I talked about, learning how to meditate, doing yoga, dance classes, having a lot of fun. And also there would be a humanitarian component into it. I feel very passionate about several humanitarian causes, and I've also done relief trips around the world. And these are my three loves, and I think it's three things that a lot of people would want, and I don't feel like there's anything out there that exists like this. When you go to a seminar, you have to leave your family behind. I always hate that. You never have time to see the country or the place. When you travel, when you go on vacation, it's great, but sometimes you don't want to just sit on a beach all day long.
Right.
And how good would it feel to be able to travel to a country and to be able to contribute to that country as well? So that's what's in my future. And I'd love for you, and I'd love for anybody on here to join me.
Wonderful. That sounds like a plan. And one last time, Doc, I just want to make sure that everyone know where to find you. So if you could definitely give us your website address one more time.
Absolutely. It's www.drSweta.com. On the homepage, you'll see those special offers that I referred to. If you go into work with me, you'll see my packages. And then, add in your email address and your name, and you'll get my special blog that I send out every week, a weekly blog with interviews and practical tips and tools. I specialize in quick transformation. So, you got every level of help that you need, on my website. So please take a visit.
Dr. Sweta, thank you so much for being a guest on our show. We got to get you back because, like I said, I haven't gotten through all of the questions that I really wanted to get to. So we have to get you back on soon.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Everyone, thank you, so, like I said, to Dr. Sweta for being a part of the show this afternoon. I want to thank you for listening in. As always, definitely check by my blog because this is being recorded. It will be up on my blog in probably the next 24 hours, so definitely check it out. I want to thank every one of you for giving me your time, like I said, and I wish you guys a really, really prosperous and happy and healthy 2014. Definitely check us out each week, as we will definitely do what we can do to help you live a better life and get into your health zone. So this is Todd Cheek. I want to sign off here at Todd's Health Zone, so I look forward to seeing you guys again on the next show, and where we will have another health, wellness, and fitness professional talk about what they do when it comes to your health and your wellness. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Be good.